The what?
Whose play is this?
Who's playing? Oh, I think that's fine.
Alright, we'll serve you first.
Oh, fuck, I put mine in the sink.
All right, welcome back to
fuck,
Don't Take It Out of
that's
Context.
Sounding
we're
better?
back, yeah.
Hey.
We're there anyways.
You didn't say anything.
Don't worry about it.
Fuck you.
You said you're not that hungry, right? So
Welcome
you want
back
the
with
one
our
that has the
host,
most crust, so
Mc-
you eat the less pizza?
Sure,
Yeah,
fuck me, right? Yeah. I'll take it. No joke. I'll take it.
Connor, Steven, and Rodolfo.
Hey.
I feel like I had to sort of like get some out of the way. So the last two podcasts I've sort of done in the conversation, and one it's just I'm just naturally like a very talkative guy. And with the second one, it was a lot because me and Steven are big movie buffs, and Miguel, like you're like see movies a lot.
No, I like if I would say how many movies I watch a year, like I could probably count them on one hand. I don't really watch movies. I'll take one, Steven.
And I'll take one also. So yeah, like, so I will try in this episode to sort of take a backseat to who, Miguel, this is sort of your episode. This is your wheelhouse. It's,
Yep, it's all about video games, which is the best addiction I've ever had in my life. Pre-orders.
So much pre-order.
Oh yeah, I pre-order everything that would come. Like if it was April today, or it's May as of right now today. Back then, I would have pre-orders filled up all the way to October.
which is insane.
It was insane, but I kind of just wanted to keep on track of things, and I had the money to do it, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. But we're gonna start the best way I think possible. We kind of had a test run where I asked, thank you, Steve, asshole,
You're a servant.
but
A serf that you are.
a test podcast we did because our program was kind of messing up. I asked the top three games of all time. God damn it, Steven. But it's okay. It does it all the time. But
Steven just broke down the door. It's fine.
let me ask you this: what do you think is the most out of all the games you played? What was one that had the most influence on you, and why? Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
You can go ahead.
All right. Allow me to talk for another hour, and then occasionally let Rodolfo talk. For me, it would honestly be Dragon Age. I know it's sort of a recent game, although it was like 2009. So
Got 7th generation.
yeah. So with me and Dragon Age, not only is Dragon Age a favorite of mine in terms of the series itself, but also that is kind of what reawoke my interest in high fantasy, like stuff with like dragons and stuff. Which I don't think there's enough high fantasy right now. I mean, you have Game of Thrones, but that's like low fantasy. Like that, there's not a lot of like mystic stuff happens in there. Whereas I've always liked high fantasy, and Dragon Age Origins sort of awoke that in me, and it sort of informed a lot of my sensibilities when it comes to storytelling, I think.
Sounds good. Sorry, I'm eating poop straw.
This is like the worst podcast.
Oh yeah, because it's my turn.
No, because we're like eating like, yeah, games and pizza.
So, Rodolfo, how about you? What's a game that influenced you a lot, and why?
Influenced me. I don't know about influenced me, but I know I played a shit ton of San Andreas. It started out with Vice City, basically, but I don't know. I just got really into it and really wanted to play a lot of it. But influenced me, I don't think many games influenced me that well. If anything, I think I think Counter-Strike. Fucking Counter-Strike
That
influenced me so much. As in, like,
Gambling addiction.
Well, no, we don't talk about that. But it mainly like on how to play strategic, like, and how to try to be one up against an opponent or something like that.
yeah, in anything.
Anything like it
anything.
helped me out, like how to like predict situations and how to like stay cool in like stressful situations, stuff like that.
It's funny, honestly. Hearing that now, Holy shit, that makes so much sense.
Because it is, because honestly, I spent, 1,500 hours on Counter-Strike, and CSGO was life for me until, I met Overwatch.
I can verify that.
Yeah. To the point where even at school, I was playing Counter-Strike, and it was a great stress reliever. But from playing competitive, I seriously learned, how to, in a way, better myself, not get angry, read situations out more, and if it's, meeting a stranger, sort of, being able to talk with them, or, in school, how they would make us do group projects, that actually helped me out, as in teamwork-wise, being able to work with random people that I don't know and make it successful. So, yeah.
And, it's funny that you mentioned, at school, because now that I think about it, we didn't really cross paths a lot during high school.
Yeah.
I saw you, and we were, quarters of each other, but I distinctly remember, every time I saw you, pretty much, it was your laptop and you had CSGO on it.
There, a funny story, me and Rodolfo actually became good friends in, animation, first year of our high school years. And we've been together, as friends, all the way towards our senior year of animation. And his addiction with CSGO got to a point to where, in our animation class, we were able to get away with playing Counter-Strike 1.6 and CSGO at a point for the majority of our whole senior year, when we should have been working on a project.
We had a project, kind of like a senior project, I guess, but it was also a project for school. The school wanted to promote this thing called T24. And they really wanted to put it out there, and they gave us a task hey, we want you to make an ad for this, and we're going to put it on our school website. And we're like, all right, I guess. But senioritis hit us, and the fact that we played games on there, we spent 5 months just straight up playing games. And we did 1 month of work, and they still applauded us for the 1 month of work that we did. We just kind of said, fuck it, all right, the deadline's coming up, we're just gonna put all this together, and then boom, and to this day, it's still up on that website. And I kind of not necessarily cringe, but I'm like,
we could have done a lot
we
better.
could have done a lot
You're-
better
it's
within
sort of-
5 months.
You're sort of just I could have done a lot better, but they still ate it up. So
They still ate it up. They loved it. The principal loved it. And the thing is, we could have done better. This is the mark we left on this school.
Yeah.
And it's still on their website.
And and speaking of that, they ate it up. I mean, Miguel, are there any games that you think that sort of get more praise than they deserve? People eat it up even though it's not.
Legend of Zelda.
Okay, I'm not gonna go that far, but as much as I don't want to sound because he's a big influence on me, Egoraptor, when he talks about Ocarina of Time, he does have a really good point. At the time, it was a very big influential game. It was one of the greatest games of the time, but for me personally playing it, it doesn't age well, and all of it is just a cult following. There's a lot of great things that come with it. It introduced a lot of things, and it was the first big jump Nintendo did for 3D. But there were still a lot of things wrong with it that you can't really call it a masterpiece. I'd more call it a beautiful outline for what can come in the future.
Yeah, and with that, I agree with you very much. And I think the big problem is that people who get into the game industry, they grow up playing that game, and they have this idea of what it is in their heads, and they never really went back to it and said, well, this didn't age well, which, yeah, of course it's not going to age well. It was in 1997?
It was 1997, 1996.
It's not going to age well, and that's expected, but I think a big problem is that no one really says that. No one really admits that, yeah, it has not aged well at all, really.
It's kind of like when your elder says something that's really bad.
Yeah, like your grandmother said something about the colored nurse, where it's just sort of
yeah, I'm like,
it's not racist, but it's just sort of
I respect
wrong.
you, but I don't like that.
Yeah. See,
Give it the times, old one.
give it the times. All right, see you, Grandma.
The future's now, old man. While you're munching on the pizza, Steven, what's the game that's heavily influenced you and how?
Can I just say what I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Halo. Can I just...
Halo 2.
I love Halo 2.
Halo 2 is one of those games where it pushed what the first person could be and gave us this really sci-fi cinematic story full of character arcs and great characters. Even though they have a bullshit cliffhanger ending, that game has been stuck with me forever. I've played the campaign so many times. That's how much I love it. And it was a great example of how multiplayer should be. And that's just for first-person shooters. The most game I played as a kid was fucking Crash Bandicoot 2, Wrath of Cortex.
I was about to say, like, Crash Bandicoot would have been my second choice.
It's like a good example of platforms, and not only that, but it's some of the best level design I ever seen, with like hitting gems and like finding secret levels, and then just to get to that 100%. That's kind of what I got a little bit of my OCD from. That and the Lego games, but
the Lego games.
You know, I here's one thing. Like, we talk about games that get too much praise.
Lego games don't get a lot of praise.
They don't get a lot of praise, but like, I'm sorry, there is. You take a kid in like elementary school who's crazy about Star Wars, and
put him in Lego Star Wars,
and you give him the Lego Star Wars game. I lost my fucking mind in that game, and to this day, I've had a lot of really positive experiences, but there's nothing that ever matches that initial joy when you're a little kid and you get something that you've been looking forward to. With me and Lego Star Wars, that was it. And even like Lego Indiana Jones, which I think to this day I haven't beat. Like, that's because that fucking level design in that game's hard.
Yeah, it really is.
But even then, it was like, it's just fun because it's, first off, they're like the best movie adaptation games ever.
Yeah, they totally are.
But I think that the Lego video games, at least like the Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, and Lego Lord of the Rings, I think those trilogy of games, I don't think they really get enough credit for just being like an overall fun experience, which, I mean, you guys may have like more thoughts on this, because this is something that me and Miguel have talked about, where it's just like, a big problem I have with the game industry nowadays is that it always feels like it's advertised like, this is the next big thing. It's the next big whatever. It's the next big interactive experience. Just
No
make
Man's
it...
Sky.
Oh, No Man's Sky is a perfect example.
Oh, we can talk about that. But, like, it's just... I think you should just make a game and make a fun game and then see if... Start with that and then try and, like, add some new shit to it.
And
sometimes I can understand why they try to overhype it just so they can sell, just in case they crash and burn. But it's like, just be honest about it. Don't overhype it. I see it why, but it's
fucking Fable, dude. The guy from Fable, like, overhypes everything. Come on, Steven. Steven's a big Halo guy, but Steven, you have to admit, Peter Molyneux, however you pronounce his name, he overhypes everything.
He does, but Fable 1 is legit a fucking good game. I won't have anyone say anything otherwise. And also, the thing about No Man's Sky is that it's been overhyped. It's one of those things where since it's been overhyped for fucking years, that it will never live up to what it promised. Because fucking, I remember hearing the Kickstarter in the news when I was in fucking high school, and the game barely came out last year.
Yeah, and it was such a huge disappointment, and that's why.
Although I will say though, the first like 5 minutes I played that game, I was like, this is like really good. Like, I really like this game. But like again,
and then after those 5 minutes, you're like, okay, what do I do?
I liked the game when it was called Minecraft.
I liked that game. See, this is my thing. People said, like No Man's Sky, it promised way too much. They could never do that. I kind of disagree. And the reason why I said it is because you can go back to the DOS PC games of like the mid 1990s.
Yeah.
Like Wing Commander Privateer. I mean, look, I know that like if anyone's listening to this, I know the graphics are not good by today. Although they have a charm to them, they're like pixelated. But I do stress this: you can do whatever you want in that game.
Yeah,
like
totally.
like this is a really like dark example, but it just shows like how much detail you can go into it. You can blow up a person's ship, tractor beam them into your cargo hold and then sell them as slaves. Like, you could do that in that game. Yeah, and this was in the 1990s. They thought about that.
I'd love to see a modern rendition of that.
They kind of did, where it was like, it was a free game on the PSN network. It was Rogue Galaxy or something.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of
Rebel
what
Galaxy.
It was. Rebel Galaxy. I liked it for what it was and for what it tried to do, but it took
forever.
It took forever, and also the cheapness of it. Like, it tried to. It was sort of like, if you're gonna do a game like that, you need to do it with the scope of No Man's Sky. The problem with No Man's Sky was just that. Honestly, I do think that what I think about the guy who made No Man's Sky, I honestly think he wanted to release it as his vision.
Yeah.
I honestly just think, like, no, we have to release it, and we'll just patch it. Well, that's another big thing that I do not agree with, is this whole...
Welcome to Connor's podcast.
Yeah, I'll say one thing, and then I'll stop talking, but, like, this whole idea of, like, oh, just release and just patch it. I don't see why people are okay with that.
Let's release this unreleased movie and let's just patch it.
Oh, you do have a point. Before we get more off track, with me, I played a lot of games in my time. I played a lot of good games. I played a lot of bad games.
Which you didn't have to, but you put yourself to torture to.
Because I do it for the experience.
I mean, your nemesis David Cage.
Fuck David Cage. That's a story later
This
on.
is going to be the title.
We talked about it.
We
I
talked
believe
about
in the first
it, but
podcast.
Yeah.
Okay,
Touch on it.
with me, I have a deep fondness for Legend of Zelda. I have a deep fondness for a whole bunch of indie games. I'm a huge indie supporter. I'd gladly pick up an indie game that I don't even know than a AAA title because I could find something I really like.
I can't do that.
And with that, my two games that influenced me the most would honestly be a tie between BioShock and Binding of Isaac.
Oh, Binding of Isaac, definitely.
Because
BioShock's not an indie game.
well, I'm not talking in terms of indie game, but like it's games that influenced me.
Like a
in
marriage
total.
between, like, you have the AAA title and then you have the indie game.
Yeah, with BioShock, that really kind of just sparked my interest for like the good like 1920s to the 50s in terms of like art and style.
God, definitely.
I love the storytelling in BioShock 1, 2 is kind of and
BioShock 2, I think it here's one thing I will say about BioShock 2. It didn't try to be the sequel, basically.
it tried to be like, hey, here's
It
another
didn't-
version.
It didn't try to be the original. It tried to do its own thing. Did it work? Not
Kind of.
necessarily. Yeah, kind of. But I will say it laid the foundation for, I think, the best game in the series, Infinite.
Yeah.
You cannot have Booker and Elizabeth without Delta and
The little
Eleanor.
sister. Yeah, Eleanor. And then what BioShock really inspired me is that it was sort of like Andrew Ryan's view of Rapture, that it's like it's supposed to be a paradise, but so much went wrong. And that's what I kind of like. I kind of like the visions of paradise to just going to fuck.
I'm sorry. How is this like a big shock that Rapture went to hell? There's vending machines that sell armor piercing ammo.
I wish I could have.
That would be like,
you guys have for
dude,
BioShock.
like, guys, I don't understand why the United States like went into chaos. We just gave like cocaine and vending machines. Like, what happened?
Going into the other thing that heavily influenced me was Binding of Isaac.
God.
I think
the horror stories.
That was one of the first games where I literally dedicated myself to 100% completing the game, which I rarely do.
I don't want to say it was comparable to Rodolfo's.
I would say it's kind of
CS:GO.
the same
Same
amount of
page.
devotion.
It's the same ballpark,
Yeah.
kind of.
Because I remember Rodolfo would play CSGO. Anytime I had a chance to play on my laptop, I would play Binding of Isaac. And a huge shout out to Edmund as a game designer, because he makes a lot of great fucking games.
You were a boy.
And the thing that really influenced me about Binding of Isaac is, one, the art style, where it's very simplistic, but the tiniest details
That,
can tell
and
so
that
much.
adds a layer of dimension to it. It adds a layer of creepiness to it.
Yeah, and that's why I like the whole like, oh, it's such a cutesy like, oh, it's a little cartoon, but it's this kid struggling with his internal demons.
And it's one of the most fucked up stories like you'll find in a modern video game.
Okay, Steven.
Steven's
Weirdo.
doing some weird like trick with his ear.
I like listening to the gas fizz.
Oh yeah, you're drinking Dr. B. But
No purpose.
Dr.
I'm
Beppis.
not a fan of the Bioshock series. Because
Why
of
is
one thing that happened to me in the first game.
Oh, this
Okay.
what you
Was-
Alright, what
which
is
was-
Welcome to Steven's glitch corner. I bet.
Steven's glitch
There's a
corner.
so it's a survival horror game. So my instinct is to save as many bullets as I can. There's a
Oh
part
my fucking god! I know
There-
what you're gonna talk about.
There's a part where you have to do a mission, right? So I did it, and then the guy's like, "Okay, I don't trust you. Put your guns in the bin." And then so I did that, and then I defeated the enemies. When I got my guns back, I did not have all the ammo I fucking been saving up. That fucking pissed me off. You know how expensive ammo is in Bioshock?
not that expensive.
It's not really that expensive, especially if you hack them, which that is.
I
the one
suck
thing-
at hacking. So if I suck at hacking, I can't fucking get the ammo easy.
Oh my god! You are peeking the
So
audio.
now, that is why, like, yes, when it comes to finishing a game, I'll get petty. If you do one thing, I'm not. You're like in my negative side. Fallout 4 fell in that because of a glitch.
Fuck you, dude.
Explain the Fallout 4
Yeah,
glitch.
explain
explain
the
the
Fallout
Fallout
4
4
of fiasco that you had.
Fallout 4, basically, what happened was a glitch happened where I was stuck physically in a place, like I couldn't move at all, and I could have reloaded, but then that would get me mad on principle. The fact that I had to reload and redo something again. So I did not touch Fallout 4 at all for a while because it did that. And Bioshock, I did get past the part, and I did eventually get over the whole ammo thing. That whole debacle left a bad taste in my mouth for Bioshock. So like that's why I never played 2 because I haven't beat 1. Infinite, technically, I guess you can play without playing the other ones.
You can
It
you
pretty
can go
much-
ahead and play Infinite without playing
it's
1 or 2.
pretty much unrelated.
But like again, the whole series, I have a bad taste in my mouth because of that one moment.
Oh my god.
The series that you played one game of, and you were only mad at one scene.
They should have
But
fixed that.
didn't on Fallout 4, didn't the glitch happen more than one time for you?
Happened one time.
One time?
Fuck you.
Oh no, but you also just got mad because of the companion system, because it like blocked the stairway, which that is one thing I'll admit. Bethesda games and companions.
Didn't you lose dog meat?
No, I didn't lose dog meat. The problem was with that was doing a story mission, which is vital to be in the game. But dog meat glitched out and he wouldn't go to where he was supposed to go, meaning I couldn't continue with the fucking game. If you can't continue with the fucking game, that's broken. Fallout 3 and New Vegas, they're fucking better than that piece of garbage Fallout 4. And I'm still playing Fallout 4, but I'm just right now. Fallout 4 is also in my bad graces.
I mean, we all had experience with Fallout, like the game series.
I don't
I
think
played
Rodolfo has.
Infinite. I haven't finished it though. I
Fallout.
started playing. Oh, Fallout. No, Fallout. No.
Oh.
No, never touched it. Nope.
I recently downloaded Fallout 2 because Fallout 2 is great.
Yeah, it totally is.
This is one thing that with the whole like transition to Bethesda, I don't care that it's like more action and shooter based. Who gives a shit? Like it's just a different play style. And plus, like, look, for all the purists out there who complain about that, I'm sorry. Like, I like Fallout 2. The gameplay is clunky as hell. It's like it's an RPG basically. Like it's a point and click essentially. But with Fallout 2, and what I like about it, and what it has over all of the recent games, is that you can do pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. There's a side mission where you can like pose for pornography, and it's not vile at all. But just like that role playing ability is sorely missing in a lot of games like Fallout these days.
Are you secretly trying to pose for pornography?
Hey.
Am I?
Yeah, are you
I wouldn't pay
secretly
for
trying
that.
to pose?
No.
pose
You've outed me.
Speaking
dare
of what Steven was saying earlier, that leads to another question. What do you think is one thing that either a video game has done in your experience, or what video games are doing right now that you think really hinder the experience of it? Like, what is one thing that you think they need to take control of and fix?
They need to not be so cinematic.
What do you
Like,
mean?
so okay, the thing about like a game is always going to have an edge over a movie in what's the word, like
Retention.
no, it's always in interactivity. You're never
Engagement.
Engagement, yeah. You're never going to be able to interact with a movie in the same way that you're ever going to be able to ever interact in a game. And so, okay, let's look at a game like Last of Us.
I see where you're going at.
It's a good game. It's
Yeah.
a good game. Fuck that ending though. But yeah, fuck that ending. But
The whole game.
no,
All right, Steven.
No, the game is like Steven's like this bitter old man. Like, man, fuck that game. Pouring himself a drink.
Dr. B.
Uncharted is better than The Last of Us. I haven't beat Uncharted yet, but I'm having way more fun than.
Before you go on, Connor, I will agree with again Egoraptor when he said that Uncharted 4 was a great cinematic experience, but as a game it falls flat.
That's basically the whole story with the Uncharted like series. They're fun. Like, look, the Uncharted games are fun. I have fun playing them. It's like I'm playing an Indiana Jones movie, and it's great. But the gameplay in it is just very simple, and it does like as a game, it's fine. Like, it's serviceable, but it's sort of like it's just sort of this thing where like video games I think should play to their strengths and be an interactive experience. And what the disconnect is between that and storytelling, because then you have a character like Gordon Freeman, who I don't even get why people think he's great. I really don't. Like why I see so many lists where Gordon Freeman's like, oh, most influential video game characters. Like, why? Because he was in a game that was like influential. It doesn't say shit about his character.
That's nostalgia.
It's nostalgia, but also just like I get what they're saying is because he's such a blank slate that you can literally put anything to him. But at the same time, he's a blank slate that everything moves around and he really doesn't do anything. And that's sort like I'm not saying I have the solution on how to bridge the gap between like having a cinematic like a storytelling and interactivity, but I'm saying that's something that they need to consider because they're never going to beat a movie in cinematic experiences, but they can beat them in interactivity, which movies have tried that and it's always fucking failed.
Side characters tend to be more interesting than the main heroes all the time.
I can
because they have
agree with
scripted
that.
lines and they actually can show personality. Like if you take like wherever the fuck that guy name is, Morgan Freeman, Norman Freeman,
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman Ramsey.
Well, like, dude, Valve has made some great characters. GLaDOS is one of the best villains in video games in my history.
I would say
I
one
love
of the best.
Wheatley also because
You just want to fuck Stephen Merchant.
but that British
I'm not here
accent.
to know.
But like, also like that character goes through arcs. Like he's your friend and then he fucking betrays you, and that's why side characters tend to be way more interesting than the main characters. I think.
Well, with Valve, I mean, let's say this. I think it's to say like, Chell is not a real character.
She's hot.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
All right.
That's your
Welcome back.
waifu?
All right, every average video game
Welcome back.
gamer in the early 2000s.
Welcome back to the Feminist Podcast. But a character, I'm doing air quotes, like Chell, is a way to experience the game, and you are supposed to put your own opinions toward, like your own thoughts towards her. Same with Gordon Freeman. I'm not saying that makes them great characters, but it makes them ideal for a game setting. Whereas like Atlas and Peabody in the multiplayer in Portal 2, they actually have like personality to them, and that's why a lot of people like them.
Yeah.
But again, different type of game.
Rodolfo, how about you? What is one thing you wish video games would work on, or something you think that they fall flat on?
In all honesty, I haven't been playing much games at all lately. It's just been Overwatch.
Yeah.
It's just grinding on Overwatch comparatively.
Yeah, I take it that throughout your most life, you've been basically mostly a multiplayer guy. You don't care about story games that much.
Story game when I was younger, I'd care about it more.
But now
Because of no internet.
it's just
but
down
now,
to skill and like what you can do.
Now that you got the
yeah,
internet, the
now
whole
it's like
world's at
mainly
your
skill. Now that attracts me. Change, I don't know.
one thing I would like to change. We need. It's funny how like you guys jumped on me. I think games should be maybe sometimes a little bit shorter. I feel like games these days are too long. Like I remember one time.
I can agree
wouldn't
with
mind
that in certain,
yeah.
Well,
certain
I remember
situations.
one time I said,
Give me an example. Like, what do you mean?
all right, right now I'm loving Uncharted, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm loving it, but I feel like, God, this is so long. Like like modern games are so long because they're going for that cinematic stuff. So there's so many fucking cutscenes, and then it just makes the game longer. And not only that,
Yeah,
but then
I can
like
see that.
they make levels. I feel like there's some levels they made, so then you'll be stuck on it for a while, and I hate it. And like to me, what meant to having like a good 5-hour game? Like I remember one time I said, "Man, this game's 8 hours. Man, that's a long game." And then you guys jumped on me for
Like,
8 hours.
In my experience, that is not long.
It's
at all.
not long. Not
That's like
really.
a good.
But as a
like,
person
game.
who doesn't have the same time as I did when I was a kid, that is a long time for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
One game that seemed sort of short and pretty much good for me, since I don't play that much story games, was For Honor. I know it wasn't the best one, but it was a pretty nice amount. I'd finished it in, and that I applaud that.
Was there like you guys keep track of like gaming news more than I do. Was there like some big backlash against For Honor?
As
I'm
far
not
as I
sure.
remember, not really.
Or was it just one of those things where it's like it had like its like moment of like popularity and then it just sort of like faded into like
Yeah.
regular-
I know. I know.
of course,
the one
yeah,
Because that's what video games have become as of right now.
I mean,
There's
that's
such
like, that's literally all media at this point.
it's you could like I don't know if I should quote the smartest guy I know, but Donkey. He has a review.
Shout out to Video Game Donkey.
Jason, you're the best. But he does make a fair point in one of his videos where he actually talks seriously for a moment, where he's like, video games are such a disposable media. You can pick up a blockbuster title, the best known, and in like a month or two, it's just garbage. It's like wasted away. And
I mean, yeah, like I remember in a Best Buy and I saw Max Payne 3 in the bargain bin. I was like, Max Payne 3 is awesome.
It didn't sell well.
What about Battleborn?
People, I remember people complain about that game because he got fat and he got bald.
Which, fuck you, he like fat. Like, okay, I'm sorry, was John McClane not cool?
If you didn't know,
Again,
Connor's fat and bald.
No, no, dude.
all right, he's just not bald.
He
That's
says
I
that
haven't,
Yeah, I am heavy. I will say
I haven't
that.
played Max
he's got
Payne, but
luscious locks.
it's one of those things where
I am working on my hair.
the same
I want Chris
thing
Hero
with
hair.
any property. If you change something, there's gonna be a backlash. There's gonna be always a backlash if you change one thing.
And you know, yeah, you're right. And
totally.
Made from Overwatch.
Change.
They said she was too skinny or whatever in her ass. And
this is that was I have a weird relationship with that whole like idea because at the same time though, like I do kind of get why people would be mad about that because if Overwatch sort of like claims like, oh, we're all about diversity and we're all about like different body types, I mean, how many different body types are there with the women?
But here's the thing:
there's one deviation, or
And that's
two,
just-
well,
Which
two.
is fucking
There's
boss.
Osira and there's Zarya. Everyone else has
It's
the basic-
Orisa, you dumb
Orisa.
idiot.
I don't care.
That's a robot.
I
The
don't
the
care.
thing with me about May is that, like, if she was more on the heavy side, that was great. But coming from the guy who has the concept art book that came with like the collector's edition,
I don't like that design.
like with her, like it shows like art of her without her jacket, and she's thin, and
or at least not necessarily thin.
Not
but
really
it's
thin,
It's
but
kind of like the meaning of thick.
she's like thick with two C's.
But like
THIC.
is my opinion is just sort of like I get why you're mad. Relax.
Same. Like if she was thick, or she is thick, but if she was heavier, that would be great.
Yeah.
But just because she's not doesn't take anything away from her character.
I mean, like, yeah, and like my God,
And
like,
most
guys,
of the time,
there are so many more things
when
going
we're
on
playing,
in the world that are more important.
Overwatch, it's not a story game. It's a multiplayer game. You're not really there for a story. Although the story, like the backlore and everything, it's freaking great. They're doing a great job with it.
Shout out to Blizzard.
Hire us.
But the thing is, like, they shouldn't really. People shouldn't just get mad over that. Like, it's a small concept, and then again, May wears like this thick coat because she's like in the Antarctic.
Yeah, like
and she's gotta have this thing, and it makes her look bigger. And it's
And
we
also-
understand it, but come on,
And
understand that
also
it's
just
a
like,
jacket. Also.
guys, you don't even really see your character that you're playing as in Overwatch all the time. You can just imagine she's thick.
Unless you're getting play of the game, that's
but
it.
like,
that's,
it's just like it's seriously like who gives a
But who gets
fuck?
played the game as May?
Hey, I got to
But-
play the game as Maze before.
Yeah, because you
Just devil.
spend all the time nearly
you know, I
level
mean, like,
200.
Before Overwatch really even like came out, the whole Tracer like controversy.
Debacle.
Oh.
The victory pose. It was
The
a
victory.
victory pose.
Like again, it's like I have the same thing about like the whole Mace situation. I see why you're upset,
But just calm down.
but like just seriously, like who, like calm down, like just who gives a fuck?
But it's just
I like-
fanboys.
Like I get a fanboy for a game.
fanboys.
Fanboys for a game that
Fanboys would
hadn't
have been
come
like,
out.
no, dude, get that ass. Off.
Like the biggest.
But that's the weird thing.
But no, see, like, it was there were two camps. It was one who was like, this needs to be taken down because like it's just it's just shameless like fan service.
Yeah.
Which I get like that's I personally don't like
fan service
needless-
that much. When it comes
needless
to
fan
needless,
service
yeah.
because like literally she's basically mooning the camera at that
I
point.
grew up with anime, so I'm a.
Oh my God.
So
I'm not the person to talk to.
Yeah,
about it.
because
But like, and look, fan service is fine, but like we see such saturation of it in media, especially video games, that like if you take it out, I'm not gonna complain about it. But at the same time, though, like,
Like Genji butt.
Oh,
well, hey, look, Genji has a nice butt. That needs to be seen.
Reaper thighs.
but like,
Widowmaker's 90-degree ass.
Oh, and her,
yeah,
and her tiny
totally.
little ankles. That's my biggest pet peeve about Overwatch.
Her
Everyone-
ankle?
Everyone has
Her
tiny ankles.
Well, she is wearing high heels,
Yeah.
but the ankles are
before-
still pretty
Yeah.
small.
I just wanted to I just wanted to say that I know like I haven't played the game, but I know it probably didn't deserve what it got, like because of fans was of the Devil May Cry reboot.
Oh,
I actually
which, by the way,
like the Devil
best,
May Cry
like
reboot.
probably the. You know what? This may piss off Devil May Cry fanboys. I don't give a shit. That was the best game in the series.
It really was.
Because I hear gameplay, it's really fun and like,
Just design wise, it's awesome.
but people were upset because of Dante.
Oh yeah, Don doesn't have his fucking silver-haired weeaboo look anymore.
And they got more mad when they made the reference to it, like, oh,
Okay.
not in a million years.
Okay, that's. I understand why people got mad at that. That's mean-spirited. Like,
I kind of found that as like a funny jab inside, like, hey.
I don't see. That's the whole thing where it's like, okay, you fucking know that people are going to bitch about this. Why the fuck would you like actually
Poke at them, poke at the bear.
It's like the ending of the movie of basically Ghost in the Shell, the American movie. They basically did a fuck you at the end, where it's like it turns out that the body, the brain that Scarlett Johansson was originally an Asian girl that they transferred into a.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
The movie
Okay,
did that.
that's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Because
Cause that's just not even. It would be one thing if it was like originally an Asian girl. If it was an American product that had an Asian main character. No, this is an Asian product. It's a Japanese story, and you whitewash it, and then you just said, "Hey, you know all those people who said we should have had a Japanese actress?
It was
please?
a fuck you.
Fuck you."
That was a
just
fuck
like the Death Note Netflix show coming up.
I don't have a problem with that because it's an adaptation.
It's an adaptation. I don't mind it.
I don't know.
What I even said, like I was talking to someone with Anime Monster about this. I would have loved
If they kept the Japanese name with all the American
Hi,
actors. I'm like Nagayushi or something.
I'm Katsuyori Shibata from New Mexico.
I'm just
it's just like a
I'm
white guy.
excited for it because it's Adam Wingard who has done so much stuff I like. Even though I guess Connor's not a big fan of his work.
He's okay.
Your next is awesome. Anyway,
Your next
He's
sucks.
What?
Weren't they saying that Willem Dafoe's gonna be?
yeah, Willem Dafoe's Ryuk.
Hey.
What? Now I gotta watch Death Note.
You didn't know about Willem?
I
I'm
didn't
pretty
know
sure
about
we've
Willem
talked
Dafoe.
Dude, you
about
gotta
it.
keep on Willem Dafoe, man.
I'm falling behind on my latest Willem Dafoe, but getting back to topic, with me, I think the game, what games need to do now as a whole, and this is a big majority of why I'm a huge indie developer than an indie supporter.
And let's be honest, we've been
dabbled a bit.
dabbling in
I can't
in
support
development.
indie that much.
I'm not saying we're gonna have something out soon.
But
Yo, Kickstarter.
one of the things I really like mostly about the indie community is that video games now are such an influential it wasn't just like, oh, it's a toy you could buy for your kids. It's now become like a part of our culture.
And I mean, I don't want to get too pretentious. It is like the next. I think it is kind of like not the next art movement, but it is like an art movement. Like I think there will be like more criticism and more exploration into what games are and what video games can do.
Can be art.
Yeah, fuck you, Roger Ebert.
That's why
You look at El Shaddai, tell me that doesn't look like art.
with me, it's just we've gotten to a rut to where now it can't be true for all AAA companies, but most of the time they stick to a certain blueprint to where yeah, it's a new concept, but if you really look at it, it's the same thing we've been
Call of
getting.
Duty.
Like Call of Duty, like Battlefield 1. I liked Battlefield 1 because it did something completely different. It went to World War 1, which is something we never done. It implemented new systems, new mechanics but in the end,
And I took into account the setting, like the fact that driving a tank in World War One sucked.
yeah, totally. But then if you look down at it, it's just another Battlefield game.
Yeah,
It's just another first-person shooter.
And Call of Duty now has World War II coming out this year.
Yeah, like they've never
Hey.
been doing that before. But that's why I like the Inside. I haven't played it yet. I plan to play it, but from what I hear, it's a big sort of like a retelling of like modern everyday life in a rut. There are certain indie games on Congregate, like A Simple Day, where literally the gameplay is you're a man, you wake up, you get dressed, you go to work. That's it. But there's so many things in the center that you can change that.
if you know, speaking of like indie games that like that reminded me of this one game where I didn't play it, but I watched a Let's Play of it. Shout out to Geek Remix. I love those girls. I think they're good. If you're listening to this, go check them out. But they played a game, Emily is Away.
Yes. I've been meaning to get into that.
I didn't even play it, and I like felt sick to my stomach with like what the twist that game has.
Mm-hmm.
It's jaw dropping, and I think it's a game that people should play because I think it says a lot about modern sexual relations and like the way our generation communicates. Like I mean, like God, geez, I'm 20 years old and I'm like talking like I'm fucking 40. Jesus.
With me,
But
like
I think
go on.
I think it's a game that's it's a game that's able to tap into a lot of current ideas that we like even today we sort of struggle with now.
Yeah. With me, one game that really comes to mind is I'm forgetting about it now, but it was really influential for me. Was I believe it was I'm losing it, but right now
What's it about?
I'm trying to remember. I'm forgetting about it, but
Wow, for a game that's so influential, you forgot.
oh,
about
okay,
it.
I got it. I remember now. I think I fought with Connor about this a long time ago when it was a thing, but it was when Hatred was on Steam Greenlight, and then it got taken down.
And I said, why do you support that?
With me, honestly, from what I played, it's a boring game. All you do is kill people. That's literally it. But from what I see, we kind of needed that game because now we need to kill people.
I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm gonna come back and like what I think about that because this is like 2 years, like however long that game was in development for.
It's because that it boils down to why I play the majority of my time. I play horrible games. That's why I own Sonic 06. That's why I played through the entirety of the David Cage games. Well, mostly Indigo Prophecy.
That like, oh my God, hearing him play through Indigo Prophecy was a struggle in and of itself.
With me, it's just like it's becoming more of an art. It's becoming more of a consumable media that everyone's gonna be influenced by. So it's best to have those games out and then realizing what's wrong with them as an artistic means, and then learning from that and making something better.
I know for a fact, middle school me would have loved Hatred.
I
Oh, God,
totally
that's-
would have bet.
God, I'm so glad that Hatred did not come out when you were in middle school. But I see what you mean, Miguel. But at the same time, I'm sort of like, it would be one thing if Hatred added something to the conversation, but I don't think it does. I just think it is sort of it's like not only is it a bad game, it's just a game that has nothing to add. Like people say that like the absence of good, like what makes something bad is the absence of good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that. I mean, we like shitty things. Like we all like to watch shitty movies and like
Silent Hill.
Oh.
we'll get into that. But like we all like watch shitty things. We enjoy them for like what they are, and like either like on an ironic level or an unironic level. But with Hatred, I don't think it's trying to say anything. I just think it's a bad, boring, hateful game.
I see what you
And
mean.
I don't think it really adds anything to the conversation. Now, like, a bad game, I mean, like, we touched on, like, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
That's a game that, like, is a failure, but I think it adds something to the conversation about, like,
What we can work on as an industry.
as an industry, like, from design to advertising to production to everything, like, I think that's a lesson that developers will look at. It's sort of like how
Use it as an example.
Yeah, like how Daikatana was for. Yeah, like I mean, do you guys know about Daikatana?
Yeah, the John Romero game.
Yeah, the John Romero game.
Yeah,
Where-
and how it destroyed a
Company.
company,
Basically.
a hip young company that was like people say like, oh wow, this is gonna do great things, and then it just killed it.
That's basically what No Man's Sky did.
It's the Daikatana of the 2010s.
And that's why
That's more playable than Daikatana.
I kind of hate it when people give shit to Insomniac for making Song of the Deep when they originally made like Ratchet and Clank games because it was completely different.
Yeah.
But the way I saw it was just it's a company taking a bold new step in a new direction that they haven't gone through. Yeah, it had its faults. To me, it was the gameplay was kind of boring. The story was great. Some puzzles could have been worked on, but overall, I would totally play that game again.
You know, like we touched on things that we sort of think that the gaming industry needs to
Work on.
work on. And you brought up Overwatch and the story and how the way they release the story is good, and to this day I still disagree with you on that. And here's what I mean with that: like, if you like it, fine. For anyone who likes the way that Overwatch releases the story, that's fine. My problem is how the gaming journalism, which by the way, like gaming journalism is something that needs to be totally reworked, if you ask me. But,
Totally.
So, like, look, I'm not a big fan of Destiny at all. That game series, I think it's, I just think it's boring.
Destiny sucks.
Like but one of the
Bungie, come back and do Halo, please.
but one of
Halo
the
6.
But one of the big problems of Destiny that people complain about was like, there's no story. The story is so lazy. They just like give you cards to like read and shit. I'm sorry, but like that's not too far from what Overwatch did, and yet people
Eat it
applaud
up.
the world. Like they say, like great world building. And look, if you like that, I'm never gonna take that away from you. But
You're
I
taking
think-
it away now.
I'm taking it away.
I'll take it away from
But
you.
Overwatch is more fun than Destiny, though.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, that is sort of like why they accept it, because at the end of the day, it's a well-designed, like, fun game. But I still think, like, even if Destiny is an abjectly worse game, you still cannot have that double standard. You still have to approach the same, like, look, you know, this is a bad approach to storytelling. I think it's bad. I think if you're going to have a story, don't, like, do one thing or do the other. Like, I don't think you can sort of, like, have it... In this case, I don't think you can have your cake and eat it, too, because they start out the game with a cinematic explaining Overwatch and the story, which is, like, a simple story. You can get behind it, but then nothing else. Like, hell, not up until recently, they didn't even have character bios
For what?
for characters. Like,
On Overwatch?
Yeah, they barely put him in, like, this month.
Oh,
or last month.
in the thing,
Yeah, in the
yes,
game.
but they've been having them like before, like on the actual website. They had the bios there on the
on
console
the website.
yeah,
They
I'm,
had it
like,
on
I'm
there.
sorry.
That's a Destiny.
That's
I
a-
played the
right
game.
there.
I shouldn't have to, like, literally, when I started playing Overwatch, I had to ask, who's this character? What's she about? Like, I mean, my babe, Zarya, I had to, like, find out, like, what she was all about from them. The game wouldn't tell me.
All right, since we have about like 3 minutes left until like the timer goes off.
Honestly, I'm having so much fun. I can talk like about this for an hour.
Yeah, video games.
The thing for me about Overwatch is that
Oh, wow.
The-
we,
like, the
we
thing-
will get to an Overwatch episode in
Totally.
time. Like,
the
yeah.
thing is, the story wise is, it gives the thing about Blizzard and them, all the people creating the lore and everything, they give the people what they want, but not exactly what they want. They add a little twist to it, and it makes it that much better at times. You know what I mean?
I guess, but like with my whole thing, I'm like, I mean,
Just give it to me. Don't,
With,
don't
like,
play around.
I kinda like
just
it,
do it.
but
Just like do.
the
Just,
only
like,
thing I
do
do-
whatever you want. Like
The only thing I do have a little thing about is a Sombra, which a lot of people
I-
because they were just going a little too long about it, trying to reveal her and trying to put her in the game. I can't understand.
That's
it
why I
so much.
wasn't
commend the-
excited about
Yeah.
Orisa. That's why I'm not excited for like Doomfist or the new characters that are coming out. I'm pretty sure they'll be great and they're characters I'm gonna love. But
Orisa
because
sucks.
of Steven.
All right.
But because of the
all right, Reaper main.
because of the whole ARG. Is that what it was?
It's where-
Yeah, ARG and a
it
bunch
just
of clue.
prolonged everything
and it
so long.
poisoned a lot of like expectations. Like for like, I was there with you guys in the trench. Like, guys, it's gonna happen. Summer's gonna be released. And I'm like, I mean, calm down.
I can kind of get like to hype it up a little bit, doing a little at
But
the
they
beginning.
went on
It was
so
okay,
long.
but
Yeah.
it went too
I
long. It went on
appreciate
too
their
long.
efforts in marketing. Not a lot of people do. Not a lot of companies do that, and I admire that, but they just didn't necessarily execute it properly.
Like when Anna came out, I was like, "There she is." I'm like, "Awesome! I love Anna."
Yet we still
then
spend
they
all our
fucking
money on
nerfed
loot
her.
boxes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Last,
all in all, like by the way, we will shit on companies. But that being said, if we were on their payroll, like we would like take that in a heartbeat, like wouldn't we? Like I will bitch about EA, a long time. If they came with like a check,
Like-
fuck it, I'll shut up.
It's sponsored.
Money's money.
Yeah,
all right.
money talks.
Last question for the day, probably, because it's like almost 8.
Oh,
But this is just a very simple question. If you were to design the perfect game as a whole for you, like what would you consider a perfect game? If I'm asking, like basically, what would a game need to have to make it a perfect game for you?
First off, dragons.
Dragons, babes, gold.
Buff women for sure. For
Oh
Connor.
god, buff green women. I'm talking orcs, baby. But but no, like honestly, for me, it would be a game. And again, like I'm gonna sound like a tool because like I'm gonna say a lot, but actually like say nothing. But a game that sort of it puts you in a world that you can interact with, but it never pigeonholes you to one thing. Like I will always admire the Ultima series for just like it gives you this world and you go around, you do whatever the fuck you want. Like really, like Worlds of Ultima, they're one of the first like massively multiplayer games. If you want to just be a baker and you just bake bread, sell it, you could do that and not be an adventurer. I really admire that. And I think if you have that level of immersion, I think that cultivates player loyalty. I if you give the player more options, I think that enhances the experience with it.
Sounds interesting.
Like the problem with No Man's Sky was that it touted a lot of options, but at the end of the day, it didn't. And it did, and sure enough, player support died
Totally, it completely tanked.
because at the end, because they realized there's no point in it because you can't do anything. So I think with whatever it does, like whatever genre, it has to entice the players with immersion. Like you become this character and you feel for it, whether it's open world or just like a hallway, doesn't matter, but they have to foster a level of immersion, which a lot of games don't really do nowadays.
What about you, Rodolfo?
For me, if it was story mode game, for me, I would want something that would like catch my attention instantly and be able to retain it there and sort of like tug on my emotions, kind of like not necessarily a roller coaster, but just enough to where like at the end I'm like, holy fuck, this was a journey, but it was worth a fucking great journey. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like sort of like
Like how most people felt about not I was gonna say Until Dawn, but The Last of Us.
yes, where you get invested in it, and then your feelings are like, I don't know how to feel it at this point in this game or something like that. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
and one day I'll rant. Did I already rant about The Last of Us in the first episode?
I don't think
No.
so.
No, not really.
Oh, yeah, fuck that ending. Anyone who likes that ending, go fuck yourself.
And
We love our fans.
Also for like a multiplayer game, for me, since I'm like a big competitive multiplayer, say just ranking systems for me, because there are some where you just get players that are too toxic. Something to filter out the toxicity, whatever the fuck it is, but of players. Like there's a big group of people who are just cannot work together on a team based game, and that's what I kind of want to filter out.
I mean, I admire that about Overwatch. How they will take steps to like if you write a good game like GG or like GG like too easy, like it will just say like it's my bedtime because like you're a child.
They
Oh,
put that as
yeah.
kind of like a thing.
I respect that because it's not because it's like
But
it's not like it's like deleting negative comment. It's sort of like okay,
It
yeah.
replaces it with a better comment.
But he's
Yeah.
thinking like if that only happens if you type it in all caps. You can still type it in lowercase.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And there's still gonna be people that are
there's work that needs to be done, but I admire the steps taken.
but people are still gonna type it either way. Other way, it's like, oh, dude, easy game, easy win, easy skill
Oh
points.
yeah, and it was like, and even then, if they block all the stuff, it'll just be like they'll just make up gibberish.
exactly.
What about you,
It's a
Steven?
never-ending war.
Not a very creative person, but I'll name
No
some
glitches.
games where I think they're perfect games. Resident Evil, the game, the remake, not the OG one, with the tank controls and but like the one that perfected the game. Is just overall great gameplay, great everything. Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a perfect game. I fucking love Dark Souls.
I
and
go on.
Okay, so Super Mario World.
What?
Super Mario.
Wow, did not.
Yeah,
I wasn't
SNES?
expecting that.
Yeah, whoa.
yeah.
Hey.
I played it on my Game
Whoa,
Boy.
Hogan joins the NWO.
I
That's
played it on my
swerve.
Game Boy, but like that game has one of the best level designs I ever seen.
It really
the
does.
overworld, and not only that, but there's so much shit you can find in that game.
And also just like a pleasant looking game. Like,
yeah.
color. Like, where did colors go? Like, really?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like
I mean-
everything's all like gritty and murky. There's no like
so
vibrant
washed
colors.
out.
Because
Yeah.
that's what sells apparently.
And
I don't think so because I mean Mario's still like.
it's still doing well,
Still
and it's
doing
still like
well, so there's
I don't
super
play Mario
pastel.
games anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you everyone?
I'm sorry, are you everyone? They're not just selling murky, washed out games to you.
I wish Nintendo would get on with modern times, though. That's one thing I don't like about Nintendo.
Okay.
They're way
All
too
right,
back.
all right.
Nintendo needs to step up the game.
Yo, Nintendo, we're calling you out.
In certain areas, they do.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Like the ad revenue thing.
yeah, they're just like they just need new management. That's just the sheer thing of it. Honestly, God, this is gonna sound like Genie Whistles, but like honestly, like get more like Americans, like because American business like drives the video game industry. I think really, it used to be Japan, now it's American developers. I think that.
Welcome back to the Racist Podcast.
Okay.
But sorry, I didn't
I
mean
mean,
to cut you off, Connor.
But no, like I think that like Nintendo needs to get out of this. They've created a bubble for themselves where it's centered in Japan, and I think that if you want to get a more varied assortment of things to produce, you have to expand to other markets.
I see. With me, I think if I had to describe a perfect game or a game that I would make, it would be something with storytelling of Dark Souls. I think Dark Souls, in terms of storytelling, for me, is absolutely perfect. You learn through the gameplay. You learn through context clues, like an item, like, oh, I got knight's boots. Oh, these knights used to be part of this like really cool group. That's like cool. I want to look more into it.
I wonder if I'll have to fight them and their undead bodies.
And then with that, it's like an idea that I can put out right now is that your character goes up to like this little dinosaur kid, and he's like, "Hey, I need a rock. Can you help me?" And like that's all you have to go on. Like, oh, this kid needs a rock. I'll get him a rock. So you get him a rock, but there's like context clues around the kid, like things you can notice, like, oh, he's a little roughed up, he looks like a little mean spirited, but you're like, oh, I'll get him a rock. You give him a rock, and he like throws it at an old lady and blames it at you, like something like that.
Great story.
But it's like it's like
What is Dark Souls? The Adventure of the Little Shit Dinosaur.
it's like the storytelling of Dark Souls and the aesthetic and visuals of something like Binding of Isaac or Kirby's Epic Yarn.
It's like if in Dark Souls, Ornstein is just like some little shit dinosaur kid.
But it's like something that like looks very simplistic, looks very nice. It just plops you into something. You find something to do, kind of like Minecraft.
Oh, the
But-
gameplay in Dark Souls.
But you know, I wanted to like amount away to like the little things you do, like helping out that dinosaur kid or not helping it out plays a big part later on. It's something that really gives true meaning to what you do.
Yeah, that is one thing that like decisions ultimately don't matter.
That's why I kind of
fucking Mass Effect.
yeah. That's why I fell off Mass Effect. I stopped playing Andromeda because it just got to a point where nothing matters.
Like BioWare, we love you.
We love you, BioWare. I could rant on about Mass Effect Andromeda for hours, but yeah, I think it's about time we wrap
BioWare, you
this
haven't
up.
made any games I would really care about, so.
But that's for another time. Thank you all so much for
thank
watching
you.
watching the podcast, listening
Thank
to
you
our
for
podcast.
watching this podcast and hearing this movie.
Thank you for listening to this book.
Thank you for watching this whole entire video on YouTube with just one title card. That's it.
Oh yeah.
For a whole hour.
Oh, by the way, do you upload these to SoundCloud?
What?
Do you upload these to
SoundCloud?
SoundCloud?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
We
could do that.
gotta cross promote, man.
But that's for another
Oh,
time.
by the way,
but-
that joke is not gonna translate to SoundCloud.
But thank you all so much for for listening, and we'd love to see you for another episode. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to, and share with your friends.
Give us constructive criticism. Yell at me for talking too much.
Yeah,
I'll
asshole.
get better.
Yells for not talking enough.
Hey.
I can't win.
Nintendo sucks.
Fuck
Get better.
you. Fuck you.